Hello folks, I'm going to do a video about road tax, vehicle excise duty. I know it hasn't been called road tax for donkey's years, but we don't worry about that. You know, I've got a Shark vacuum cleaner, but we still call it the Hoover. Vehicle excise duty is what we're talking about it. There are some big changes coming up in April of this year, and I really just want to give you a point of reference. Making this video has been an absolute chore because there's no easy point of reference for it. If you go onto government websites, most of it's still sort of the current stuff and not telling you about what's coming up. And if you go onto a lot of mainstream media websites, they've got half and half. So I wanted to try and collate all the information in one place and just give you a point of reference. So please stick with it and hopefully you'll find it helpful. And excuse me throughout this, folks, I'm going to be reading at points. If you have an older vehicle registered before the 1st of March 2021, your annual tax is based on the engine size. The system isn't changing. The rates are going up. Expect to pay around £220 a year for smaller engines and £360 for larger engines. Vehicles registered between 2001 and 2017, that's March of both those years, tax is based on CO2 emissions, and the rates will increase by about 3.5%, and they've sort of rounded it up a little bit. So if you're one of those people with an old diesel that's paying 35 quid a year tax on it, that will go up to 40 quid. If you're at the absolute top end of that scale and you were paying 735 a year, that will now be 760 quid a year. Hybrids and plug-in hybrids and things currently get a £10 annual discount on vehicle excise duty. That's going to be scrapped from the 1st of April. For cars registered after the 1st of April 2017, the annual tax is just going to be 195 quid for everything, regardless of whether it's petrol, diesel, hybrid, electric. All those cars are going to cost you 195 quid a year to tax. So we've got a fairly substantial increase in the first year tax, often called the showroom tax. So that's the tax that's paid in the first year of the car's life when it's bought new. If it's leased, anything like that, this tax is going to be applied. So you may find leasing prices go up because of this. You may find your PCP goes up because of this. You may find everything goes up because of this, because in some cases it's doubled and in some cases it's more. So here's a little chart and you'll see you've got the CO2 emissions down the left-hand side here. Some of these don't make sense, like zero emissions. Petrol and diesel cars obviously don't exist, but they're on there anyway. But let's go across. So an electric car would have been zero before. That's now going to cost you 10 quid in the first year. No great shakes there, you might think. 0 to 50. So these will primarily be plug-in hybrid cars. 110 quid a year used to be zero. 51 to 75. Again, you're going to be in plug-in hybrid territory here. Used to be 20 quid. It's going to be 130 quid. And you can see then we get up to places where it just sort of doubles right across the board. But the ones that are really killer are down here, you know, over 255 grams per kilometre of CO2. It was 2,735, now 5.5 grand. Cars that were 151 grams per kilometre. I mean, you're not talking silly cars quite often in that kind of bracket. 670 quid up to 1,340. So this is going to have a huge effect on the cost of a new car. Now, luckily, most of the cars in this bracket are really expensive cars already. You know, they're sort of 100k plus, a lot of them. So you might think, well, if you can afford 100 grand on a car, blah, blah, blah. But there will be some people that just don't want to be taken for a ride and they stop buying those cars. And that's all money that's coming out of the exchequer, that's coming out of circulation. You know, we should be encouraging people to spend their money. That's what keeps the economy going. That's what pays wages. If people stop spending money, the economy contracts. So that's not particularly good. Now we're looking at the changes to electric vehicles. For ones registered after the 1st of April 2025, they're going to have to pay that £10 first year tax. And then on an ongoing basis, the tax will be £195 a year, although that will obviously go up with inflation. And then electric, zero or low emission cars registered between 1st of April 2017 and 31st of March 2025 will pay the standard rate. This will be £195. But if the car was registered between the 1st of March 2001 and 31st of March 2017, it'll only be 20 quid. Why? And then for hybrid and alternatively fueled vehicles, the £10 annual discount for hybrid and AFVs will be removed, and the rate you'll pay will be dependent on when the vehicle was first registered. Electric vans will move to the standard annual rate for light goods vehicles, and electric motorcycles and tricycles will move to the annual rate for smaller sized engine. The additional rate is also going to apply. So this is the expensive car supplement, often referred to as a luxury car tax. So that goes on to anything that costs more than 40 grand. Not just costs more than 40 grand, but has a list price of more than 40 grand. You might have got a massive discount on that brand new car and bought it for only 30,000. But if it was £41,000, you are still going to have to pay this. And this applies from years 2 to 6 of the car's life. So you've got it brand new, and then the next time it gets taxed, you're going to get this huge hunking chunk of extra money on top. And at the time I'm making this, from what I can find, there's no one easy place to go and find all of this. You have to keep dipping all over the place. It's 410 quid a year from years 2 to 6 on top of your £195. So that's going to make it 605 quid a year to tax that electric car. Now, I have no problem with electric cars being taxed because they use the road like everyone else. But let's not forget that it's donkey's years since road tax existed. It's donkey's years since VED was ring-fenced for actual use on the roads. It could be used for anything at all. It just goes into the public purse. And a common thing is people say, well, electric cars are heavier, so they put up the road, so they should pay more. But that money's not spent on the roads. That would be a really good sound argument if that money was spent on the roads, but it's not. For a long time now, you know, tax has been based on emissions, and it's all been about cleaning up air quality. That's one of the big reasons we all need to get into electric cars, apparently, is to clean up air quality. Yeah, you can have an old diesel and pay 40 quid a year for it, or you can have a brand new zero tailpipe emission car and pay £605 a year for it for 5 years of its life anyway. Seems a bit off to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Sorry to put you through that, folks. I know this is the driest possible subject for a video, and I hate making videos like this, but I know people want this information and it's not the easiest thing to find. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and please come back for more. See you soon. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.